The soil should be prepared first, a rich and earthy cocktail of insecurity and self-hatred that allows the roots to twist and contort freely. The temperature should be kept the steady, humid warmth of air conditioners struggling to cope with the perspiration of a dozen bodies pushing themselves too hard, while the lights must be kept at a harsh, fluorescent glare. Counterintuitively, growth is most effective when the orchid is suffering from aggressive dehydration, and it is vitally important that the air roots be rarely praised, and only for the flower's appearance and growth. Above all, the deepest fear must be laced throughout what the Gristlebloom orchid is fed. That they're not enough, that their inadequacies are embedded all the way into their flesh, and that they must always and forever be more. This unspoken terror can be viewed in the intricate lattices that marble the gory petals of a well-cared-for Gristlebloom as it expands and swells and grows to its full and bulbous potential. Never let it believe itself good enough, and continue always to ensure the body that it is certain it must attain is that impossible distended mess to which it will endlessly contort itself until it dominates your garden in its sheer, impossible, beautiful mass.
The plight of a geisha, a living doll. Face beaten with white powder, eyes painted with the most luscious reds, lips pouty, plump, vibrant, hair combed in the most elaborate of tastes, hair combs and pins and jewels, precariously, anointingly, pointedly placed in your hair, finest of clothes and cloths that line your body, tastefully tied and bounded on you. You are twisted and gnarled and snarled, elongated and shortened, molded to fit into this figurine, this pose. The pose of the living doll. Men admire you for your beauty. Every time you move, you're like poetry. Even down to your eye movement, your hand movement. Everything about you is sophisticated. Every movement is meticulously thought out. To the way you stand, to the way you sit, to the way you pour out water for the men. To the way you smile, to the way you bow, to the way that you look at them. To the way that you sheepishly show your neck, just a little. To the way that you dance, to the way that you flare at your fan. To the way that your kimono folds around you. To the way that your voice sings to them. Everything about you is meticulously thought out. Everything about you is poetry and calligraphy, and everything about art, everything, even down to your breathing, is thought out. You are like a living symphony. You are like a character being drawn out with a paintbrush. A flower bended and scalpeled and gnarled and snarled and broken and twisted and kneaded and prodded. Guiding sticks tied upon you to ensure that you grow in the proper manner. Rulered You have been grown against an exacting ruler. And so I ask you this. Who are you? Yes, you are beautiful, and yes, you are charming, and yes, you are a sight to behold. Yes, you are. But who are you? Who are you? If I were to take all of that off, who are you? For you see, you are grown unknowingly with so many insecurities that you allowed yourself to be bended into this mold. But who are you? You are like a wild rose bush, heavily curated for the sights of seers and onlookers. But who would you have been, Rosebush, if you were allowed to grow out in the wild, with no onlookers amongst the forest? Yes, you would have been unwieldy and ungnarly. Your thorns would have grown bigger, your leaves less shapely. You wouldn't be so pleasing to the eyes. The way you walk and talk wouldn't be so pleasing. You wouldn't be as walking poetry. You wouldn't be as becoming as an art piece. But you would be you, and you would be thriving. You wouldn't be so insecure. You would be still a blooming flower, but one that blooms and shines underneath the sun with all the scrapes and burns of a normal life. Yes, your clothes would be crumpled. Yes, your hair disheveled. Yes, your knees blackened from kneeling down, cleaning the floors. Yes, you wouldn't be so pretty, so beautiful, but inside you'd still shine. You would be stronger than the rose bush, who, though they look pretty and beautiful, aristocratically beautiful, they are so broken inside. So stand tall, my rose bush, and grow wild.